Good afternoon, everyone. I am Carla Sanders, the Cosmic Crone, and I welcome you to the Divine Feminine Astrology reading for the full moon, which is next Wednesday, May 26th at 7:14 a.m., where I live on the coast of Maine. And I'm here a little bit early because I want you to have plenty of time to prepare. This is a lunar eclipse, and it is potent, a powerful portal. It is setting up the vibration for the solar eclipse 2 weeks later, which is a super big portal. And in both of them, the various Liliths of the astrology chart, basically the goddess archetype of Lilith, is speaking to us and through us. And that requires some preparation, especially if it's a new relationship for you. If you've not met Lilith before, you're liable to meet her this time. So I am about to share with you the full moon reading, and I have lit my Lilith candle, which comes from one of my witchy coaches, Rebecca T. Dixon. It is the Magic Shop. So if you were to Google Witchy Women Magic Shop and make sure it says Rebecca T. Dixon, you could get one of these Lilith candles for yourself and many other wonderful things she makes. This candle has been serving me very well as I have communicated with Lilith, who has been in my life for the past 9 years consciously. So let me set that down where it's safe. I won't catch my charts or my hair on fire. I'm going into my own personal Lilith ritual this afternoon. It's taking quite a bit of preparation, which is why I'm having trouble getting on here. But I wanted you to have the information through the weekend so that you have plenty of time to set up, to prepare, to determine what your personal ritual will be. And also, because I have a special way to help you through this, and I want to make sure you know about it before it closes, and that is a special offer on your own natal Divine Feminine Astrology reading, focusing on 4 Lilith points. And I will put the link in the comments so that you can sign up for it. Meanwhile, let's look at the full moon reading. Now, first I looked at the chart of the moment because I like to keep track. Things are moving very quickly with these inner planets. The sun has already entered Gemini. Today is May 21st, and sometime in the wee hours of the morning here on the East Coast of the United States, the sun moved to Gemini. That is a sea change in itself, from earthy, sensual Taurus to dynamic, intellectual, quick-witted, resourceful Gemini. I know a number of Geminis, and they are all into dance and movement. Gemini is an air sign, and so when you think about movement, the body channeling all that air energy into flow and movement, I suspect that your Lilith ritual, your full moon ritual, will include some movement and some dance. I encourage you to look at it that way, to consider that possibility. So that is today. Today is the first day of Gemini. Anything else significant? Well, Jupiter is still at the 1st degree of Pisces, and I'm going to be talking much more about that as we move through this eclipse cycle. Today, the star of this full moon and the coming new moon is Lilith. And Lilith is Well, she's about the body. She is about the earth. She is about sensuality and sexuality, fertility. She is about the divine feminine that has been disowned and demonized and condemned. She is about everything we have forgotten about what it means to be female, to be in relationship with our own divinity and with the divine as a feminine entity in partnership with masculine. So Lilith, and what has come to me today, Lilith is about the voice, about finding your voice, reclaiming your voice. Very much what happens with women, what we are socialized to do, is to suppress our voice, suppress our preferences, suppress our opinions, suppress our tone. If you've got to say something, make sure it's nice, it doesn't offend, you're being incredibly diplomatic, you say things so that people will approve. Very often I learned actively as a young woman growing up in the South to convince the men in my life that it was their idea. So that's what Lilith, there's messages coming up on my screen and they distract me as I try to see what it is. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you being here for this reading live and in person. If you have questions or comments, type them in and I will come back to them either after the video or later on during the video. So I learned to suppress my voice and to somehow infiltrate masculine consciousness with what I wanted and what I desired. I saw it over and over again, and I activated it in my own first marriage, and it was frustrating. And then I realized, oh, well, that's how it's done. If you want a man to do something, make him think that great idea. It was a terrible idea when I thought of it. It was a good idea when he thought of it. So whatever it takes. Well, that is a very poor way to live your life. Disempowering, manipulating, and suppressing your own voice, your own preferences, your own good ideas, your own genius, your own desires, in order to get what you want in a sneaky, manipulative way, or to settle for what you don't really want because that you think that's the best you can do. So Lilith, this moon is very much about that. Lilith stands for soul deep integrity. She was told to suppress herself by man and God. And she said, I will not. I cannot. I will not. I will abandon this garden. I will leave you in the lurch before I will suppress myself. Now that's a tough choice. It took courage and she paid for it. She paid for it throughout human history by being demonized and told she was evil, and we all paid for it. And we can reclaim all of that. Lilith is returning. She has been returning for years and years. So this is what's happening, next Wednesday morning. And it's active right now. On May 26th at 7:14 a.m. where I live, is the exact full moon. The moon will have set by then. So if you're on the on the west coast of the United States, you will be able, I think I've got this right, you will be able to watch the blood moon, the eclipsed full moon setting. So if you live out there, or anywhere further, Hawaii, probably, I don't know how far it goes. The Pacific is very big, possibly wherever it's night, maybe in Japan, Australia, Eastern China, you will be able to see this moon. And at the exact moment of the full moon, the sun is at 5:26 Gemini, the moon is at 5:26 Sagittarius, and the moon is trine Hecate. Hecate is one of these thresholders. She stands for, she is the one who carries people. She shows them to the gates of Hades, the gates of the underworld, particularly Persephone. Persephone goes back and forth between the underworld and the above world every year, and Hecate conducts her. She is in that way an initiatrix. She is a guide. She says, this is the way in, and I'll be here when you come out. She cannot go with us. We often see her as the crone at the crossroads. And she doesn't say, go this way or go that way. She says, choose here. And she's pretty much saying, you must choose. So this moon invites you to say what needs to be said. What words have you been clipping off? What words have you been swallowing whole and they're stuck in your craw? What words, what truth, what simple preferences and desires have you said, oh, it's all right, I don't need that. It doesn't really matter. Whatever they need is more important than what I need. I have so much. Let me be grateful for what I have. Why ask for more? Why ask for different? They're offering me white wine when I prefer red. They're offering me tea when I prefer coffee. They're forcing food on me when I don't want any. They're ridiculing my opinions, and I smile. Ha 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 ha. I can feel my blood boiling right now. This full moon says, stop it. Catch yourself when you are doing this. Catch yourself suppressing your real desire. And speak up. Say what you want. Recognizing that everything is negotiable. If all they have is white wine and you really want wine, you can either say, no, thank you, I'll have water, or, oh, yes, I'll enjoy a half a glass of your white wine. But say, do you have red? No, I'm sorry, I only have white. Oh, thank you, I'll have water. Depends on how strong your preference is, but state your preference. And this is a simple, non-threatening example, but it matters because when it is a matter of life and death, when it is a matter of your soul integrity, you have practiced. You have a muscle that says, what I want matters. My opinion has weight. I get to express myself. My opinion, my idea, my thought, my desire, my wisdom is on the table, part of this conversation. And if we have to negotiate what matters to me and what I bring to this conversation is of significance. And it must be taken into account. And this is something that's really important. She's not making a big conjunction or aspect to anything right now, but Juno is retrograding. The moon shortly after this full moon is going to be passing over Juno in Sagittarius. And Juno is the one who represents the well-being of the women and children. And it's the well-being of women and children, the voices of women and children that patriarchy says, oh, that doesn't matter too much. They'll do as they're told. They'll take what we give them. We know what's best for them. When in reality, the children and the earth both know that what they need, what is good for them, is of paramount importance. Those voices, the voices of women, children, people of color, the indigenous, the earth, the land, the elements, the unseen, all of the children of all of the species. Their voice must be heard and given massive weight to any decision that any institution, government, law, religion, or group of people, community, is making. And when we think of those people and give them their voice and heed their wisdom, and that includes the voice of the grandmothers, the voice of the crone collective, that would be me and some of you watching right now. These voices assure the longevity and health of the earth and the people. They assure that our children will have a home 7 generations from now. So this is the work that this moon is blasting wide open. Lilith is, yes, she is sexuality. She is the dark goddess. She is a version. She shows up in Kali and Sekhmet. She is the one who is demonized. She is the one returning with a sword. Heads will roll. She's also the fertile soil we plant our feet in and we plant our seeds in. She is the womb that brings the energy from the cosmos and births it into life, into form. So this is what is happening. I have heard this moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about truth. It is about the deep philosophy. It is about transcendent spirituality. It is about the unknowable made known through the mind, through consciousness. More than the mind, it's through consciousness, which is bigger than the mind, than the machinations of our brain. And so this full moon, in the shadow of the earth, blood red, is speaking truth. Heads roll, blood flows. Blood is truth. Blood is strength. Blood is life, as is water. And so Sagittarius is speaking truth. And Lilith is the voice of truth, the soul deep integrity. So what's going on with Lilith? I read 3 Liliths, typically. And I have here, where is Lilith? Asteroid, the personalized Lilith. She's going to be in the last degree of Pisces by the full moon, ready to go into Aries. I'm just looking to see what other aspects she's making. She is opposite Haumea, the great creatrix, the great mother goddess of the Polynesian people, the Hawaiian people. And she is speaking to her big sister, Algol, the Lilith star, who is the demonized goddess, the one who was, we have been told for eons that she is the demon, she is the devil. We will die if we honor her. Well, for the past couple of years, Vesta and Venus have been laying their gifts on her altar. They have been saying, Oh no, she is us. We are her. This is not a demon. This is the divine feminine, without which nothing exists. And what's happening at this full moon is Black Moon Lilith, who is the feminine before patriarchy, the goddess in her purest form, very much in common with Venus, but even bigger, the void. She is this blend and mergence of dark goddess and the queen of heaven, the goddess of light. Black Moon Lilith is approaching a conjunction with Algol. It is active now. She's a little over 2 degrees apart. And at the new moon, the solar eclipse, Black Moon Lilith will be in an exact conjunction at the same degree of Algol. So these next 2 weeks are ruled by this mergence of these two Liliths combining their energies. What else is going on? At the full moon, Vesta is in Virgo, and she is whispering, she's got her arm extended to Psyche. Psyche is the woman at the beginning of her initiatory journey. She is the maiden, a rather hapless maiden who suppresses her own voice. She doesn't even know she has a voice. She listens to what everybody else tells her, does what they say, and gets herself into a lot of trouble. But that trouble, she basically goes through a great deal of loss and agony and suffering, and she finds her voice. She finds the divine within her, and she comes out of this story part of the family of Venus, identified with the Queen of Heaven. So Vesta is saying, Psyche, it's time to begin. She is the priestess. Vesta is the priestess, and she is saying to each of us, our inner Psyche, it is time for your initiation. Step up. Fear not. Well, actually, she is saying, be afraid, but I am with you. It's okay to be afraid. It's scary. It's scary as fuck. But it's necessary. It is the necessary journey of finding your voice, knowing what you want, knowing who you are, and stepping into your power. This is not something we just wake up one day and it's done. We go through a process. We go through the underworld. We are scoured. We heal. We weep and gnash our teeth. We walk to the gates of Hades with Hecate. And we pass through and we return. Initiation can look like many different things. Eclipses are portals, and initiation is always a threshold and a portal. So Lilith is the guide. She is the guide to this one. She speaks the truth. She speaks with integrity. She knows who she is, and she will not deny it to make anyone else feel comfortable. And so Vesta is square the North Node. The North Node is the collective destiny. So wherever that North Node is in your chart, wherever your own personal North Node is, I'm paying close attention to all of this because Vesta at this full moon is on my natal moon, exactly. And the eclipse in 2 weeks is on my natal Vesta. So I am being called to step into my priestess power in a way that I have not before. And I wonder if you wonder, what is this eclipse calling you forth? Where is this eclipse landing in your chart? Where is Vesta? Where are the 3 Liliths? Where are the 4 Liliths? And so as you prepare for this full moon, I encourage you to plan the opportunity to dance and to sing. Find your voice and move through the air and light a fire, because the moon is in Sagittarius and it is going to be red with blood and red with fire and red with truth. Find out where all of these live in your chart. To help you prepare, I am offering a special Lilith Divine Feminine Astrology reading where I will read 4 Liliths: Black Moon, Lilith Asteroid, Lilith Star, and the Dark Moon Lilith. I don't usually read that one, but I'm looking it up because it communicates with us where our suppressed and unexpressed desires are living. And that's incredibly important for us to know right now. So I'm not going to say a whole lot more about it. I've got some posts on this wall. If you want to look at my page, or if you're in the Womb Wisdom portal, you will see more teaching about it. But it is a 30% savings over the conventional Divine Feminine Astrology reading. I want you to have this. I want you to be prepared to raise your voice, to know what you want, and to use this eclipse cycle to step into your power and speak your voice. My voice is getting kind of froggy. Isn't that interesting? I still have work to do on my own voice. That's part of what my ritual is about. So that is the main thing that's going on. We have Vesta communicating with Psyche and the North Node. We have the 3 Liliths communicating. We have Hecate holding space. Oh, here's another one. Vesta, the priestess, is in a flow. She's communicating with Albion, the thresholder. So the priestess goes across the threshold. She takes you to the doorway, opens the door, and says, "Come with me, let us cross the threshold into the realm of the spirit, into the realm of truth, into the realm of transformation." And so this is emphasized by this point known as Albion, who holds the threshold open. Thank you, Lori. I'm glad this information is good for you. There's so much more to say. I will be back in a couple of weeks with the solar eclipse reading, and there are more teachings about Lilith. My newsletter goes into more detail on this Stop Suppressing Your Voice teaching that I gave you in the midst of this reading. So you can click the button and subscribe if you don't know my newsletter. And the Womb Wisdom portal is a place where we do more teaching. And that is all completely free. And you have the opportunity for a Divine Feminine Astrology reading at a 30% savings right now for the next few days. So I wish you a blessed full moon, a blessed eclipse season, a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Enjoy yourself. Pleasure heals. Pleasure opens us up to receive more. Thank you. Thank you all.